Welcome, 90s boys and girls. Mariah Carey has just defrosted and the season has begun. This is the Dope Nostalgia and Sears Christmas Wish Book Special featuring our guests, Colin Krieger and James P. White.
Have a funky, funky Christmas.
Wikipedia moment.
Please bear in mind that Wikipedia is not to be taken as actual 100% fact. Any donkey could edit it at any time. If I'm reading you the artist's bio, that stuff is real truth.
The Sears Wish Book was a popular Christmas-themed catalog released annually by the American department store chain Sears in August or September. The catalog contained toys and other holiday-related merchandise. The first Sears Wish Book was published in 1934 and was a separate catalog from the annual Sears Christmas catalog. Now, the Sears catalog, called the Big Book or the Wish Book, offered customers around the U.S. a chance to wear city clothes throughout its 97-year history. The book sold everything from jewelry to cars to tools to farm equipment to pianos to whole homes. In 1993, Sears discontinued publishing their Big Book catalogs in the United States, and the Wish Book noticeably started to diminish in size. By 2005, Sears had completely abandoned anything resembling the original Wish Book and was producing the 2.5 by 2.5 inch Little Big Wish Book. The mini catalog was given to customers at Sears Auto Centers, placed inside packages that were purchased on Sears.com and Landsend.com, and was included inside the packaging of in-home deliveries. In 2007, Sears once again created a holiday gift catalog more reminiscent of its predecessor. However, it was still considerably smaller than the original Wish Book at only about 100 pages. This was a stark contrast to the 300-plus page catalog previously produced. According to the Associated Press at that time, the Sears Wish Book was considered as a holiday treat in itself by generations of children who were hoping for the best on Christmas morning. Yeah, so I'm going to introduce everybody to my friends Colin and James, who are the co-hosts today. It's going to be an audio thing, but let's wave anyway.
Oh, okay. See, I was waving. I thought I was waving to someone. All right.
There will be some clips probably from the video, hence why I'm wearing my Edmonton Glory Hole Tours with James P. White t-shirt.
Very nice.
There's James in front of the Glory Hole building.
They're tearing that building down too because of the LRT.
Well,
after the things that have gone on in that building, I think it should probably be torn down, honestly.
Probably.
There were some pretty sticky buildings that got torn down on Stony Plain Road. This is
A
all that local.
A lot of babies died in that building. Yeah.
It's all that local talk that none of our listeners know what the fuck we're talking about. Edits.
Edits,
Okay.
yeah.
We're gathered today to celebrate our Christmas episode. This is our second Christmas episode, and I decided not to go with music on this one since we did that last time. All the Christmas songs are the same.
At this point in the podcast, you have to put in the jingle bells. Jing, 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 jing. That's our Christmas episode. Jingle, 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 jingle.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. You edit that part out too. Sorry about that.
No, I can edit it in all over the place. Jing a jing.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll have some sound effects. Liven this shit up. I'm not even drinking because we got pretty hammered last night, right, James?
Oh, yeah.
I saw the Facebook evidence of that. That looked like a good time.
I don't even remember taking the Uber.
I remember you telling me you were going to take an Uber. You're like, I know I could walk home, but no.
I had a hard time walking there because of all the ice with how drunk I was.
Bad.
And with the fact crazy that it was only a $7 Uber because it was 4 blocks.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Does that mean the guy got a quick fare? That's cool.
There's basically like what we did was called the Wish gift exchange, which is like a white elephant gift exchange, but it was made with things that you bought off the Wish website, or you know.
Oh, okay.
You know how Wish always like shows you on your Facebook feed or your Instagram feed all this stupid crap that's really cheap.
really dumb stuff. Yeah, but it's
really
cheap.
dumb
Yeah.
stuff. You're like, who's buying this? Or better yet, why am I in this algorithm for
Yeah.
for this
How did I
rubber mask?
Yeah, how
Or
did I
like-
get involved in this? Yeah,
or fish slippers.
Or
fish slippers.
which is what
Oh, I
you want.
got a pair of those from this thing.
That's fantastic. Are they like the house slippers, or what are they?
They're
Crocs or
like
what?
rubber. I guess you could wear them anywhere.
That's fantastic.
They look cool. Real cool. Yeah.
Well, I
there were
gotta
some
look
good
that up.
gifts. We got some good gifts. But anyways, that is our first annual Wish gift exchange, and it was a blast. And I think we'll do it again next year.
How long does Wish stuff take to come? Like it comes from overseas. Must take forever to get here.
Usually about a month.
Oh, that's not bad. All right.
I've waited up to 3 for certain.
Yeah,
things.
I've had some stuff. I've had some stuff that I've ordered that it's made it to the border and then got sent back.
Oh my God.
What the hell are you ordering?
It was a knife,
I
Well,
figured it would be something along those lines.
a hunting knife, but
brass knuckles. Yeah.
no. I knew that if I got brass knucks, they would. Those wouldn't have made it across.
They just have to make it into a belt buckle. I bought a belt buckle from someone that you know, Naomi. That's just conveniently in the shape of brass knuckles, but it's a belt buckle. So that's how people do that now.
So, is it for self-defense as well as pulling up your pants?
Well, as a policeman asks you, it's for pulling up your pants.
Oh yeah.
Wink, wink.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
I got
Useful.
a belt. I got a belt with a belt buckle that has a knife, like a lock blade knife in the buckle itself.
Mm.
That you can it just slides out.
I'd be worried that I'd be drinking or something. I'd pull up my pants too fast and circumcise myself. That would be
No,
awful.
it's the buckle is a holder, so you stick the knife in like it pulls out.
That doesn't sound much better to me.
Well, you can't open it inside the buckle.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's good.
Damn. You used to get wasn't it a monthly package of survival goods sent to you? Like one of those
I just
Dollar
got
Shave Clubs, but with like weapons.
Yeah, and it was all cheap stuff that I got from them. It was horrible, and I was spending like $60 a month and getting like $20 worth of stuff.
That's the opposite of what the concept is supposed to be.
Yeah.
You must have a kitchen drawer, Jimmy, that's amazing. Like you must have your junk drawer in your kitchen must contain all kinds of amazing stuff.
No, I have special. I have toolboxes full of.
Oh,
that
all
stuff.
right. Well, I'm not gonna fuck with you then. That's awesome.
Well, I found this. Well, like I said, we're not doing a music show because it's been done. We're going to talk about something that was probably near and dear to many a child's heart in North America. The Sears Christmas Wish Book.
Loved it.
Oh
Every
yeah.
kid patiently waited for this to arrive. And what happened once you got it?
Of course, you went to the toy section.
Right to the back.
Right to the back. Yeah.
Basically, read that whole thing backwards.
Well, at the start, when I was a younger child, I went right to the back. And as I got older, I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. So I went right from the $10 items in the first few pages.
Yeah.
And then as I got to be like a little bit older still, the lingerie section in the Christmas catalog was the best.
Oh yes.
By far.
The Wonder
spring and
Bra
summer-
section?
No. The Christmas one had like sexy shit in it. It had like satin nighties and stuff, and
Oh, I guess
better
so.
than the spring and summer had Wonder Bras and socks and stuff. But
And bikinis.
yeah, sure.
So it
See,
was
Naomi,
basically
you'll never know.
like Playboy for a certain age you were at.
Well, I mean, when Jimmy, you're about the same age as me. I'm 43. You're about around there, right?
I'm
Late
a
30s?
little older.
You're a little older. Okay. Well, then getting
yeah.
pornography in our day was not easy. Like it's not like it is
no.
now. It just falls out of the sky. It's hard.
No, you had to find where Dad's stash was.
That's right. And put everything back just right so that he didn't know.
You had to work for it back then. Now it's
Absolutely.
just too easily accessible. But that's funny. The catalog. I just remember like the bra section. I thought that was in that one too.
Well, I'm
I
sure
didn't-
they had the regular bras in there too, but the Christmas catalog had about 4 or 5 pages of like stuff that you'd only heard about. So
Yeah.
There was all kinds of other pages that I had no idea what was happening on them. Like maybe I think there was even bicycles in there and stuff, even in the Christmas one.
Oh yeah,
They had
because
some outdoor stuff.
kids used to get bikes for Christmas. I remember one year getting one for Christmas.
Yeah. And I suppose a lot of kids also live in areas where there is no snow. So it's normal for them to get outdoor stuff in the middle of winter.
yeah, I guess Lower Mainland and stuff like that probably. But I got my first Aerosmith T-shirt out of the Christmas catalog.
Really?
I got my first Motley Crue T-shirt out of the Sears Christmas catalog.
I didn't know they had good stuff like that. But did you get it where you had it delivered to the nearest Sears outlet near you? Like, remember I grew up in a small town, so we had a delivery place where Sears would just send all the ordered stuff to, and you'd go pick it up.
Tabor had that. It was the Radio Shack / Sears pickup.
I can beat that one. We had a dry cleaner, fabric store, Sears pickup.
Nice.
No, that's a weird mix of stuff in one building.
That is incredible. Could you actually get stuff ordered to the Sears if in the city, or wouldn't you just go get it at Sears then?
Well, I mean, we lived so far from the city that didn't make sense. So you just have to order in like September, so it got there for Christmas.
We were all in that small town boat.
Yeah, like we were half an hour away from Lethbridge, but it's just we still Dad used to get stuff sent there all the time to the Sears.
Yeah, back in the old days, people like they were expecting things so fast. Now in our Amazon world, if it's not there in 48 hours, it ticked right off. But yeah, when I was a kid, like 2 or 3 weeks was wicked fast. That was quick.
Like if
So
you wanted
fast.
something from Sears for Christmas, you had to order it in November.
Oh, easily. Yeah, before
probably
that.
fall.
Yeah. Yeah.
But right, Amazon's really changed the game. We're very impatient now. I had to wait for a week and a half for some cat food, and I was pissed off.
What's that all about? Yeah.
So yeah, it's a different world for sure.
I have a friend in Ottawa that ordered a laptop, ordered a MacBook, and it made it to her house in 90 minutes from ordering it.
From Amazon?
From Amazon, because they've got the same day delivery there, and I guess they must have a warehouse right in Ottawa, and it showed up in 90 minutes.
That is incredible.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's quicker than actually going to the store and buying it, probably. But
Way less hassle, that's for sure.
Yeah, you don't have to. You just get what you want and have it sent. Yeah, that's awesome.
now I believe there was a rival catalog that was out back in the day. I don't know if it was in all of North America, but Consumers Distributing also had a catalog, but I don't think it was as focused on Christmas or anything. What were they selling there? I can't even remember.
Electronics.
Mostly?
Yeah, like phones and radios and stuff like that.
Did you guys get that catalog or ever buy stuff from there? Your parents?
I don't remember.
We didn't buy anything from there, but it used to show up. Like it used to arrive. And it was not very big though. It was like 40 pages or something.
Oh, what a letdown.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
Christmas wish book from Sears has no competition.
No, the wish book. I still remember what the font looks like on the little things where like A, B, and C and whatever. I remember what the font looks like.
Yeah.
And and by the time I was done with that thing, it was dog-eared and wrecked. Like it was just yeah.
No, what about your
loved it.
siblings? Because I would go straight to the back, of course, and circle all the things that I wanted. I'd circle the letter, and then I'd put an N next to it, so that everyone was clear in my household that it was going to be mine.
That's right.
And I never got hardly anything out of it.
Well, I don't have any siblings. I was the only child, but I know a person who used to go through the wish book, and she would make up a fake family for herself. Like she would say, okay, I have a husband and I have a boy and a girl, or that you do different configurations, 2 boys, 2 girls, whatever. And she would go and order everything for them from that and add up how much it costs.
She was really prepared for life skills.
Very much so. I was looking at the lacy negligees on page 37, and she was figuring out her life. Yeah.
Do you remember there used to be, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jimmy. Were you about to say something?
I was just gonna say with the 4 of us, we used to have to take from the catalog and make a list, because marking it in the catalog really didn't do anything, because there's 4 kids.
Right.
It'd probably just be a mess and hard to understand who wants what.
Yeah.
Ever wonder what Santa would do without his elves? The Sears Wish Book. Just make a list, check it twice, then call 1-800-366-3000. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Every order is backed by Sears, and Sears delivers anywhere. Of course, the elves would never leave Santa holding the bag. But it's nice to know he has a backup plan.
Hi, sweetheart. It's Joseph. Crystal asked me to do a story on your podcast about me when I was a kid at Christmas. So here you go. When I was reading the Christmas catalog, they had like this fish bowl with like plastic fish that you could put in it. And I was like, this would be so cool. And so my dad thought it'd be a good idea to get me a fish bowl with a real goldfish in it for Christmas. And so I named him Fishly, of course. Has there been a name for a fish? And then he was fine for a few days, but then by around, like, I don't know, the day after Boxing Day, he was kind of not swimming quite right. And I'm like, Dad, something's wrong with Fishly. And he goes walking into my room, and he looks at me, he goes, yep, he's done. And he grabs him, opens up the door, and throws him out the door into the snow and slams the door. And I'm like, Fishly! Anyway, that's my Christmas story, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
So what was your favorites? Like, what did everybody have a favorite? Like, I remember things specifically. Like, I remember there was like the rock tumbler thing. I always wanted to get the rock tumbler. I never got it, but I always wanted to.
Didn't that thing just polish them up real nice? Did it come with the rocks too?
Oh yeah, it came with the rocks, and it said it was semi-precious stones. But that seems like a good business model. Sell stones for less than they're worth to kids with a plastic tumbler. Well, it doesn't make sense.
How did the plastic part actually like shine the shit out of that stuff? I'll never know.
You put
Never
it, there's
had that.
like some abrasive sand you put in there, and it tumbles them in water, and this abrasive sand, it polishes them up. I never got it. I asked for it every year. I never got it. I just thought it was cool.
James, what's something that you asked for that you didn't get? I got a lot here.
Han Solo's blaster pistol.
Yeah.
I
remember that one.
I was a huge Star Wars geek back then, and I still am. But like, we used to get some of the toys, but it was like we got like the Death Star play set, which is like, you know, showed everything from the trash compactor and everything. But those were group gifts, so it was for all of us.
Oh, you had to share.
I had to share, and then my brother would break the stuff.
Oh,
He'd get mad at me and break it.
on purpose?
Oh yeah, because and then I'd beat the hell out of him, and he couldn't hurt me, so he'd break my stuff.
That kind of thing prepares you for life, though. I was an only child, and I had it all my own way. And then when I get out in the real world, I was unable to share anything with anyone. So I think that probably built some character.
Something I never got that I would want was definitely, this might be kind of weird, but I really thought that Castle Grayskull was cool.
I had that.
Did you have that?
I did. I had that.
I mean, I didn't even own any like He-Mans or any like boy toys, but I just thought it looked cool, so I kind of wanted to have it. But I never really asked for it either, because I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to have this toy.
It actually had a microphone in it. It was my first microphone. That's how I got hooked. The microphone.
Does it distort your voice?
Yeah, very
Make it squeaky?
very evil. Yeah. Yeah.
Colin, what's another toy that you wanted out of there? I figured we just keep going in a circle with this, because I got a few.
Oh yeah, no, I got a few too. And one that I remember that I don't even know why I remember. There's a flashlight that would like cast cartoons on the wall,
Mm-hmm.
sort of thing. It was like a flashlight. You put a lens in it, and it would project cartoon images on the wall. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I asked for it every year and never got it. Never.
Shit.
Yeah, like that was like a $9 item. That one never came through. I don't know why.
Something similar. Something similar for me was Batman related. It was the same thing where it would project the bat signal or things like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, never got it.
I think our dads probably just thought, well, what the hell are you going to do with that? How about your real flashlight? That'll be more useful.
Yeah, it's like, no, if we give you that, you're going to stay up all night projecting this stuff on the wall and not sleeping.
That's right.
And keeping your brother.
Too.
And in my case, it would be shining it on my brother to keep him awake.
Oh,
you and your brother had a good time.
Yeah.
We had the same room for basically until I was a teenager.
Hmm.
Well, you learn to share a space with somebody. I'm going back to that point, man. I think that builds character. I think that's good stuff.
You also learn how to hide things.
I bet.
Because I used to every Halloween used to hide my candy in different places so that he couldn't find it, because he'd eat his in the first week and I'd still have mine at Christmas, and until he found my stash, and then it would disappear.
Yeah. Little bit by little bit, you might not even notice it was going missing until it was all gone.
Oh no, he never went little bits.
Okay.
No. If he found it, it was done in a day.
Yeah, all right. So you had to be on guard then.
I was 4, or no, my sister was 4 and I was 7 when we finally got our own rooms. And she was always very good at hiding stuff, or like she'd always lock her bedroom door. And like she was very like, wow, what's the word? Secretive. She was so secretive. We never knew what was going on in there. She was always having like all these like things she had locked up, because I was terrible at taking my sister's stuff or going through it. I was a horrible child. So she had to hide everything from me.
You forced her to do it.
Yeah. I forced her hand.
Boy.
Yeah, I deserved it. I was ruthless, but going through her stuff. Like, another thing that I always wanted, that all the kids seem to have, and it was really hard to get, was the Cabbage Patch doll, Cabbage Patch Kids.
I had one.
But do you know that like it was really hard for our parents to get them for a while? Like,
and that's why I ended up getting one, is that my dad just happened to be at a store when they were they got some in, and they're the hot item, and my dad just happened to be there, and they're unloading them off the truck, and people were just like fighting each other for these things, and he figured, well, these seem pretty valuable, I'm going to grab a couple. So he came home with 2 Cabbage Patch Kids, and I didn't know what the hell to do with the doll, but I had one. So, but I wish I had it now. It'd probably be worth a ton of money now. I don't know.
Can you imagine if you'd never opened the box? Wow. Like,
we did. The one was in the box. I don't know where it ever ended up, but there was one in the box. When I left home, I don't know what happened. My grandma, I think, probably put it on a garage sale or something. But
I'd love to see what a toy collector's website would say about that now.
All my siblings had one. I was too old by that point to care about care about dolls, but it's just, yeah, they all had one, and they were well used.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I never did. I had a Cabbage Patch doll shirt, which I wore as many times as I could in a week. But because I thought it was so cool, but I was so jealous I never got the doll.
Yeah, that's the thing, is you get to something in your head like that. Like mine was laser tag.
Ooh.
Oh,
Remember that?
yes.
I had to have it. That was a very dog-eared page in the catalog.
Do you remember? I can't think the name of it. There was those toys that used to interact with the TV program, like Power.
Oh. A line of toys and interactive television games were released by Mattel. Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yes, that was it.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly how it worked, but Captain Power, I remember the commercial for it, and he would like interact with the TV, like you could talk back and forth with TV. So basically, the most primitive Stone Age internet you've ever heard of, but it was the coolest thing in the world at that time.
Yeah, and it would interact with your toys and like the action figures that you had for the certain characters and stuff like that.
Yeah, and something would happen on the TV, and it would trigger your character to do something. Yeah,
Yes.
something like that.
What kind of amazing magic is this?
Oh, at that point, it was amazing. Yeah.
And so I have no idea how it works because I never got one of them things from my parents.
Me neither.
I'm going to look up the science behind that. Here's something I don't know if you guys know, but the original Nintendo, the orange gun that came with Duck Hunt, only works with a tube TV because it was the TV sending the signal to the gun. So
I didn't know that.
So you could shoot those wascally little ducks everywhere, and then the little dog would laugh at you when you missed.
Yeah, I hated that dog. Fuck that dog.
Yeah, that dog sucked.
That's right. I don't know what his name was, but I didn't like him.
And some people don't know that the second controller actually controlled the ducks.
What?
Yeah, you could have a second player controlling the ducks and where they were moving if you chose to. Sorry, James, go ahead.
I heard that. I've never seen it, but I've heard of that. We never plugged it in, or else my brother would mess with us every time. He was a little jerk growing up.
This is going to turn into a lot of what happened with your brother. Anger issues
being
worked out. Hope he's listening.
And now we're doing a therapy session with James P. White. James, tell us what your brother did to you. How did that make you feel?
Because he'd do that, but then he'd win the game, and then he'd mess with us when we're playing it.
Well, that's a brother dickhead move. I think that's pretty standard practice. Yeah.
Yeah.
From what my cousins were like, anyway.
I think it's Colin's turn again.
Oh, geez. Okay. What else was there from that? Oh, this was a dumb one, but I always looked at it every year. They had the little fort, like it was a little house that was built out of like plastic tubing, and then there was like plastic sheets that it made little playhouse for you anyway. And I thought I would like paint it camouflage, and that would be a fort for me. And it was another one. It was like an $11 item, and I never got it. I think my parents were,
with inflation, would that be like $30 today, you think?
I think probably. Yeah. And I think my parents were just worried what I was going to do with the privacy, so they didn't give me that. I didn't have a door on my room growing up. I didn't. I had a room without a door. So.
Oh my goodness!
Really?
You were allowed to... Okay.
Yeah. And it didn't have a door like on purpose. Like it's like, no, we're not going to give Colin a door. Just my room didn't have one, so I didn't have a door.
Did you ever ask for a door?
Yes.
They said no.
Well, no, we lived in that house till I was like 16.
Oh, you need a door by then.
Well, I would think so. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Especially if you're looking at the lingerie section.
Oh, don't worry. I was an only child. I had it all figured out, but still, it was.
Poor Colin, no door.
There was one house that we lived in when I was a kid. I didn't have a door, but they'd hang a blanket covering the hole in the wall, so I had a little bit of privacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get that luxury, but that was kind of your parents to consider you. See, now it's
but also I had siblings. Also, I had siblings.
Oh,
right.
Okay. Yeah.
And
you had one of those hippie beaded doors.
Yes. I wanted one of those actually. That's okay. We're going to talk about what was in the Sears catalog. I like the beaded door too. I guess I just had like a real deep down need for a door of some sort.
That calendar or that catalog had everything. It had beaded doors too.
Oh, it did. Yeah. Yeah.
Jimmy, what else did you need from the catalog? Needed but couldn't get.
Some bunches, but again, it was all Star Wars stuff. Like I wanted a Lando Calrissian, just the short little, like just the action figure I got everybody but him.
Really?
Why would they not? Why would they not give you Lando?
Just a matter of they couldn't find it. But the thing with it is we'd use the catalog and then they'd go into the city to get it. Like they never,
Right.
We very rarely ordered things out of the catalog. It was more like, okay, what do you want? And then we'd be left home and then they'd go to the city and go, or we'd go and then dad would take us to another room or take us to the food court while mom was shopping,
Right.
or vice versa.
Then there's also, we're going to get into the stuff that we actually got and the stories behind that too. But this game was always on TV. It always looked so cool to me. And I just never, ever got it. I asked for it every freaking year. Hungry Hippos.
I loved Hungry Hippos. My cousins had it.
Yeah, my cousins had it too. We didn't have it, but our cousins did.
No. Yeah. But really, Hungry Hippos, there's no skill involved. You just smack that lever as fast as you can and hope it eats all the marbles. There's no skill to it.
Why did it seem so awesome? But now when I think about it, I'm like, I'd be bored of this in like 5 minutes. Like I'd be like, this is boring.
But we used to play it for hours and hours when we were kids.
You're probably like smacking it so hard. You're probably like breaking the handles and stuff. And I'm sure like those little balls probably all go missing.
That's what ended up happening to my cousins. I remember they got it for Christmas and we broke it on Boxing Day because of the whack, 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 whack. Yeah.
There's no surprise there.
No,
it didn't look very sturdy.
Well, no, it was just a crappy plastic hippopotamus rendering or whatever. But the other one, Mousetrap, was the other one. Mousetrap looked awesome. I asked for Mousetrap.
I had Mousetrap.
Was Mousetrap good? It looked like it was good.
Here's the thing. It was so much fun to set up and do the thing and drop the ball and have it do all the things. But I never actually learned how to play the game. I just kept setting up the trap and doing it over and over.
All right.
I never really like played the game properly.
What do they call that? A Rube Goldberg machine or something?
I don't know.
Screech! It's a record scratch right there. Yeah. No, I think that's what it's called. It's a Rube Goldberg machine.
For those of you listening to our audio podcast, Colin has a really cute Hello Kitty cup he's drinking out of.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, I really like that.
It goes well with your beard.
I know, eh? My Carhartt hat and my Hello Kitty cup. You don't see that very often.
I enjoy it.
I'm in touch with myself, man. Oh, and I have to say too, speaking of Star Wars stuff, what I asked for 9,000 times and never got was the Chewbacca bandolier thing. Like you.
Oh yeah.
That was cool, man. I thought that was the awesomest thing I could find. My dad told me outright, "I'm never going to buy you that. That's stupid." Like, oh, okay, I guess I don't get that one then.
Yeah.
You always kind of wonder what parents' reasoning is for why they wouldn't get us stuff. We should have had our parents on this episode.
Oh my god.
But I think some of it, like in my case, was if I got it, then my brother would. There would be a fight over who played with it, and so
right.
And they had to keep it equal. Like it was very important with my grandparents and my mom that everything was like equal between my sister and I, or they tried to anyway. But I ended up being the asshole who got more stuff than my sister did because I was a bad kid who begged and whined to get my way. So I've gone for therapy. No, no, but I've apologized completely for my horrible behavior as a child.
No, that's good. Well, I think we've done a lot of good work here today. Speaking of,
we've been going through some really strong therapy on this podcast. We found out that you've got everything, and and my brother was a turd.
Well, Colin seems to be quite well adjusted. Yes,
and Colin just has door issues.
Yeah, I just have privacy issues now. I can't poop without it being silent. It's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. All he wanted was a door.
All I wanted was a door. Hello.
So there we definitely each had our issues.
Yeah. Well.
Are there any other toys that you wanted that you didn't get?
You know, it's funny because I'm sure that there were, but the ones that I remember are the little ones that I did not understand why I couldn't have the little toy.
Yeah.
Because
Like
they
the
were a
stupid
good,
flashlight.
affordable price.
Yeah. Like I'd get more expensive stuff than that in my stocking regularly. But well, why do I? Yeah. It was weird. It was weird. I remember the little ones. The big ones are not this memorable, I don't think.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't remember too much that we didn't get, but it's just growing up, we knew we were getting, just a couple toys each. Like our parents weren't really, there's 4 of us, and so they didn't really have enough money to buy us everything that we wanted. So
Right. They had to spin it out a little more, right?
yeah.
Well, that makes total sense. And they probably tried to buy things too that you guys could all use together and use together, but not fight over, if that's possible. If that configuration.
Like if I got a Star Wars figure with a lightsaber, so say I got Obi-Wan, my brother got Darth Vader. Because if we got one without the same weapons, I guess, like if I got one with a gun, he got one with a gun.
I got to keep peace in the valley.
Yeah.
I find that interesting. I find that dynamic interesting because I did not grow up with any of that. I find that really interesting.
Like the girls always got a lot more like the toys, like with the dolls and the accessories for the dolls and the playhouses and stuff like that.
Dolls that could drink and pee.
My little sister got one of those, but not Heather.
It's so magical. I always thought, wow.
I didn't like the little peeing doll. I thought that was weird, man.
It's weird.
Even when I was a kid,
it's so
I couldn't
magical
handle
if
it.
they could wet its own diaper and you change it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to give you a baby that actually pisses. Oh, awesome. I hope you give me the sippy cup too. That's cool. No, and I'm sorry, but when that doll was undressed, that was not something it's not an image you want to see. That's the weird I'm not going to go. I don't even like what I've talked about it so far, but it's terrible. My cousin had one and it warped my brain when I saw it. It was not good.
No, I just had regular dollies that didn't do anything. Sometimes like the eyelids would open and close because they were weighted.
Right.
Those were cool. Creepy, maybe.
I thought
some.
those were creepy also.
Or the dolls that have the bottle that looks like they're drinking, but it's just the liquid just moving or changing color.
Where does the milk go?
Where does it go?
Yeah.
The science thing. It's so magical. It was just magic. It wasn't science.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Our toys were bewitched.
I just wanted to add things I didn't get real quickly that I wanted. A popple. I wanted a popple so badly. A slip and slide. Never had one.
Oh, I agree.
We had one. But
Did
again,
you?
it was a group gift and it was for all of us. Oh yeah.
I wondered, like as an adult, though.
Like a weapon. I think it was called a weaponana.
Oh yeah, the weaponata, yeah.
That's what it's
I
called.
wonder when I got older though, when you use that. Would if there's rocks and stuff on the ground, would you ding the shit out of yourself?
Yeah, you used to try and make sure there was no rocks. It would hurt.
I can imagine that would. And I was not a skinny kid either. That would have totally wrecked me.
Even if there was weeds and stuff growing underneath it.
Oh, I would imagine
you could feel it. Yeah.
Like those thorny weeds.
Yes.
I would think any kind of lump, any kind of irregularity in the ground when you hit that at speed would probably not be too comfortable.
This year I want a tree that doesn't shed.
And here's the very tree. This magnificent 6.5-foot Noma Algonquin Yukon artificial tree, just $74.76 at Woolco.
Somewhere there's a box of chocolates with my name on it.
Remember them this Christmas with a box of delicious fantasy shells or scrumptious Belgian chocolates, just $4.99 each. Now at Woolco.
Woolco believes in Santa Claus.
Flush a window on the roof.
Hey, Dope Nostalgia, it's Kendra. I took a look through the Wish Book catalog, the 1996 edition, and took a look at what I wanted for Christmas back in 1996, and I definitely would have been going for all the sports stuff back then. I saw an air hockey table, foosball table, even one of those free throw indoor basketball hoop games where it rolls the basketballs back to you. I was a super competitive kid, and I loved my sports back then, so I totally would have been going for all of that stuff. And yeah, I just wanted to say thanks, Naomi, for the great content all year long, and wishing you all a Merry Christmas. Have a good one, guys.
And we're back. I was going to wrap up with a slip and slide saying I tried to build my own by using black garbage bags and like finding long nails and nailing the bags into the ground by the corners.
You mean that didn't work?
There's like this separation with the bags, and then you just stop and you're on the grass and it hurts. It doesn't work. I'm just saying, kids, don't try it.
Don't try this at home.
That was a dumb idea, but I thought I knew science really good. So I was a bad kid. Anyway, now we'd like to talk to you about the things that we got that we loved from the Sears Wish Book. Basically, all the toys we got as kids for Christmas that we totally loved. So, since James, you're in my top corner of the screen, why don't you go ahead first?
The Star Wars Death Star kit, because it was like it had everything, like where you could swing across the drawbridge, with the and then it had the trash compactor with the monster in it, and you had where like the tractor beam thing, and also where Darth Vader and Obi-Wan fought, like the lightsaber scene and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's
Google this thing.
I had one similar to that. Mine wasn't the big one though. I had a little one that had it. The characters were made of metal. They were only just like.
Oh yeah.
And we got it on. I got it for cheap. It was damaged at the drugstore or something. Like half the window would break away, like so that they could like fly out the window, and half of that was missing. So I only had one half of the window that would swing open. But I got a lot of toys on scratch and dent.
I'm trying to find the Death Star he's talking about. What was the full name of it?
It was the Death Star action kit, I think is what it was called.
Action kit? Okay.
I
love the internet. Just pull it right up. But it wasn't made by Micro Machines, was it?
No, it was the Death Star toy kit, and it was actually called the Space Station. That's what it was called. It was called Star Wars Space Station. Death Star.
Oh, okay. I see it. So it's like the big platform.
Yeah. And you had the trash compactor in the bottom, and
this is wild. It's big, actually. If you look at the size of these children compared to it.
Well, it was actually quite big. Like you'd put it on the table and we'd stand and play.
Yeah. A lot of those big platform ones were big, like tabletop things like that.
Oh, yeah, this is not what I expected it to look like. Did it like have batteries needed?
I don't think it did. I don't think there's any. No, there was nothing that lit up or anything. It's just things would slide out and slide across, and you'd have your characters would be able to hook onto things, and
straight up imagination. Yes. This trash compactor things really gets me. I like that.
Well, the trash compactor is such a big scene in the movie. Hey, like you got the trash compactor. Yeah.
All right, Colin, what's a gift that blew your mind?
Oh, I had a good one. I got, again, I was an only child, so I when something came down, it came down pretty good usually. And I got the Omnibot. Do you remember the Omnibot?
The Omnibot. No.
It's like a little robot guy. Well, not a little robot guy, a big robot guy. But this is in like.
Oh, I see it. Yes.
Like 1988. And this was a robot that you could program to do stuff and had like a tape deck in it, and his eyes lit up and stuff. And you could program to like go on routes and that sort of thing. Like now it's a total basic, like you'd be like, this is garbage. Who wants that? But when that was popular, that was the shit. It was like, yeah, it was unbelievable. And
It's
I had
like
it
a cross
until
between R2D2 and Johnny Five is Alive.
yeah, exactly. That's a really good descriptor of it. And I had it until a couple years ago. I sold it. I don't know. I sold it probably 5 or 6 years ago, and I got $200 for it. So that was good.
I wonder how much it was worth when you got it.
It was
How much did it
almost
cost?
400.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
we had
like,
one. We had one as a kid too, but it was a group gift. It was for all of us to fight over.
Oh, you had the Omnibot as well.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. Like it was like from Radio Shack or something is where I think they were really popular.
Radio Shack had the knockoff one, but yeah, I was same idea. Yeah,
no, we had the knockoff one.
Okay, yeah, it was pretty much the same thing, but after the original came out, then Radio Shack put one out a couple years later. I think I don't remember, but it was essentially it even looked the same. Like I don't know how they got past copyright with that, but they had it.
It looks like it has a cup holder on it, so it could go get you a drink from the fridge.
Yeah, that was part of the deal. That was like that's one thing they sold like on the back of the box. Like, oh, he'll bring you a drink. He'll bring you
Obviously,
a cold drink.
someone's going to give it the beverage and then send it over to you, right?
Mm-hmm. And
you'd take it. You'd actually go with it into the kitchen, put the drink into the thing, and then bring it back with you,
and then drive it back. Yeah.
There's a series of different ones here. Like there's the Omnibot 2000, which is the one that looks like Johnny Five. Holy moly! Is that the one you had?
No, I had the original one, the one with the dome head on it,
and the red eyes.
And the red eyes, yeah.
That thing might give me bad dreams.
I thought it was super cool. And then they had little ones that little ones that were just kind of like motorized cars, but you couldn't even drive them or anything. And one was a little dog. I think his name was Spot or something.
I think I see it because he has a one black little eye spot around his eye. Yes.
That's right.
Oh, this is brilliant.
I loved it.
This is what the 80s and 90s are all about, man.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So I guess for me, I had my big dolls. I wasn't allowed to have Barbies for a long time just because they were too real anatomically.
They're scandalous.
Yeah. But then I finally got a Barbie, and it was the Peaches and Cream Barbie doll. If you look up that one, I don't know. I loved her dress, and she was my very first Barbie, so she meant a lot to me. Peaches.
I remember the girls in my class talking about the Peaches and Cream Barbie.
She was always so extravagant. Barbie's dresses with the big ruffles and big, huge skirts. Like I always wanted to have like a big hula hoop skirt when I was a kid. Not a hula hoop, but like the massive skirt that forgot the name of it.
Barbies never kept their clothes on for very long, though. Every Barbie I've ever seen has been completely naked in a toy box somewhere.
A lot. I never had a Ken doll, so I wanted a Ken doll, but I didn't get one. So I would take my old Barbies that I didn't care about anymore and cut their hair off.
And make them a Ken?
And pretend they were a Ken.
See, you were ahead of your time.
I'm sure that that worked even. They probably just wanted to get me a Ken doll after I did that, but
probably so. Naomi's getting off the deep end here. Let's just fire a Ken doll.
Super uber. Because both my grandparents were Baptist preachers. They're both preachers, so I think that's why I wasn't getting a Ken doll. And yeah, they would have liked me making the lesbian Barbies.
Right.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, anything Barbie was pretty wild. If I got it, I was on cloud 9.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, I know Barbie was a big deal in my class for my girls in my class too.
Big time. James, we're back at you.
I think it's still at my mom's house. It was a Merlin game. so it was like a video game, but it came out in the like early 80s, late 70s. It was a handheld thing. It was called Merlin. Yeah, and you used to be able to play tic-tac-toe.
Oh shit! I remember seeing this thing.
And then
I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
And then you like there would be memory ones where the buttons would light up and you'd have to follow it in the same order, or like you'd have to follow the sequence of the lights.
There was one like that called Simon Says or something, right?
Yes, this I think this was before Simon Says.
Okay. Because yeah, Simon Says when they would light up and do a tone, and it was boop 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 boop
Yeah.
boop 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 boop. You had to get the sequence.
Yeah,
right.
but I think Simon Says was colored. This
Yes,
wasn't.
yeah.
This wasn't. It was like it was just black dots on this, like almost like you're dialing a phone. It was almost shaped
Right.
like you're dialing a phone, and it
Looks like
had
a
all these different
gigantic
games.
flip phone.
Yeah, and it was actually one of the first things I learned how to fix, because like it got dropped down a flight of stairs. I don't want to again go through counseling, but and the back broke off and it disconnected the speaker, so I actually had to learn how to get it. So like my dad soldered it, but my dad's like, no, figure out how to make it work, and then he soldered it after. But I had to attach the wires and.
Well, that's a useful lesson. You got your money's worth out of that game. See, and I had one of those great big Simon Says things. Those things were as big as a pie plate, like they're big. And I mean, I was a kid with ADD. What a cruel gift is that for a kid with ADD? I couldn't get past 3, and I forgot what was going on. Bullshit. Of course, back in my day, they didn't call it ADD. They just said, "Pay attention, idiot."
Yeah, you don't know how to pay attention.
No.
Yeah.
Go to focus.
This episode's really highlighting some of the issues as children, how things were treated back then compared to now.
Oh yeah.
And it's also highlighting some of the things that we have to deal with in therapy.
It's true. It's true. And luckily I have benefits, so I'll be making an appointment tomorrow now. This brought up a lot of stuff for me. So
Yes. Well, I'm so glad that I could get you guys on here to ruin your Christmas memories.
I got the G.I. Joe Snowcat thing. It was like the snow. I had 2 that I got to talk about. One was the Snowcat that they like it was like a huge snowmobile that people sat inside kind of thing.
Yes.
And then the other one was the Cobra plane. Who's the Cobra boss guy? The bad guy.
Oh, the Cobra Commander.
Cobra Commander, that's right. And Cobra Commander, that was his airplane, and it turned it from an airplane into a helicopter. It would.
Yeah.
Now, is that the Cobra Night Raven or the Cobra Rattler?
No, it's Night Raven. The Night Raven.
The Night Raider. That's nice. It has like a detachable little shuttle on it.
Yes. It could do all kinds of shit. It was good.
Oh man.
Oh, I wish I still had that.
Cobra Enemy. Damn. It's a Cobra Command weapon. Man, there was tons of G.I. Joe stuff, hey?
So much. Like you could not possibly collect it all. I believe me, I tried, and I could not get all of it. Like it just did.
Like my buddy has just buckets and buckets full of them, like the Star, not the Star Destroyer, wrong stuff, the aircraft carrier and the
that was a good piece. The aircraft carrier, that was a big expensive piece. That was nice.
Oh yeah, and he had like all the characters, and he still has all of them. And he still has all of them. And what he's doing is basically he's giving them to his son, but it's just he has to earn them. So like instead, like so it's kind of like we used to get allowance money. So right. You do so many things and you get you can get such and such toy, or you can get this character or whatever. But he still has all of it. And it's all in boxes with all the pieces.
Oh, wow. That'd be incredible.
And he does have this, and he does have the Snowcat, the one you were talking about before.
Oh, I love the Snowcat. That was good. That was good. I tried to actually use it in the snow though, and that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
and the boats don't float.
No, they don't.
The aircraft carrier? This thing's huge. You couldn't even fit it in the bathtub.
No,
Seriously.
but you can get some of the smaller boats like the
PT boats and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't float.
No.
This aircraft carrier is so big. It's like, I can't even believe how big it is, honestly.
Oh, it's huge.
$1,400 I'm seeing it listed for the USS Ag aircraft carrier. That's probably a completely unopened box.
Well, I would imagine it's probably
yeah.
Because I think it was like a $100 toy or something, but that was $100 in like 1985. So
yeah, $250 now, something like that.
See, the thing is though, back then you didn't buy a toy, leave it in the box, and stare at it.
No, you did not.
No, it was opened. It was opened as soon as you unwrapped it. Like,
yep.
Like,
there's no way I would be able to save a toy.
No,
like looking back at some of the Star Wars stuff I had, if they were still all in the packaging, they'd be worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Oh, you'd have $10,000 worth of stuff if it was in the package. Yeah,
easy. Yeah. But it's just nothing was left in the package.
No. No, nobody thought that way then. It wasn't even no. Okay. Well, I think now a lot of people will do stuff like they'll buy one even like for their kid to play with, and then one in the box and hang on to it. So I think this is my armchair opinion that that stuff was going to be diluted in the future. Like there's enough people saving it that it's not going to be.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people like even our age that are buying action figures and toy like Star Wars and Marvel and just leaving them in the package. And there's a lot of people that are doing that now.
Yeah. Yeah. There's tens of thousands of those pieces out there in good shape now. Yeah.
And that's like people like us that wish that we kept ours in the package and they were in good shape. And that's so now we're buying them now. So we can be millionaires in the future, but it's going to be so many people doing it.
Yeah. It only appreciates in value if there aren't very many. Yeah.
I went to a toy collector con a couple of weeks back just to check it out. And it was pretty sweet, some of the stuff that people had, but a lot of it was like, there wasn't a lot of like girl stuff. Like it was mostly like Star Wars, and like Jimmy would have been in heaven. A lot of Star Wars stuff.
Oh yeah, but you look at the pricing of some of that stuff though. Like what used to be $10, you're paying hundreds of dollars now for.
Oh, totally.
Sure. At Star Wars did like that ton of merchandising though. They're probably one of the biggest franchises as far as merchandising goes. Like Ghostbusters is probably up there too. I had a bunch of Ghostbusters stuff. I like
for
that.
Sure.
And Transformers.
Oh yeah. Oh,
because the Transformers, they made the show after the toys pretty much. Or it was they came out, they'd release them like it was.
But the show was just a commercial for the toys, more or less. Yeah.
Is really what it was.
I love Transformers. Yeah.
Oh, we had a ton of those growing up too.
Yeah, I'll add that one in. I like the Transformer that turned into a ghetto blaster. I thought that was the coolest one ever. I wish I had that.
Like the ghetto blaster or the tape recorder, because there was Soundwave and then there was Blaster.
This was it turned into a little ghetto blaster. So
that was Blaster. It was orange.
Yes. Yeah.
And he had tapes. He had tapes too that would transform the same as he had a couple little ones.
That's right. Oh shit! That's
because
beautiful.
Soundwave did. It had Laserbeak and Ravage.
You have a way better memory for this than I do. Yeah, I don't.
I just finished watching I'm in the middle of binging the cartoons.
Oh, okay, all right.
But Blaster, I think he had a couple of tapes too that would transform too.
Yeah, I remember there were 2 small tapes, and I think they went in like the deck or something.
In the deck in the front, yeah.
Do you guys watch that show, The Toys That Made Us, on Netflix?
No,
I've seen a couple.
Documentary. Oh yeah,
I really watched the. Go ahead.
I really liked the My Little Pony episode because the story was pretty interesting and pretty cutthroat, actually.
Oh, I didn't see that one. I watched the He-Man one of that.
Yeah, that was good too.
Yeah. And how that was another one where they made the show to sell the toys, sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, I didn't have any of those. But like, with the kids in the neighborhood, like, well, there were a lot of boys, so we'd play those things with them in the Ghostbusters and stuff too. Had one of those kits. What is the thing that you would throw out and it would open up and you'd catch the ghost in it?
Oh, the trap.
Yeah. I think it was just called the trap, wasn't it?
Maybe. I think so.
I remember the phrase or the word ectoplasm, but I don't really remember what it was.
Ectoplasm was the goop, was like the slime was the ectoplasm.
Was Slimer would cover him in ectoplasm. No, Slimer's the one that slimed Venkman in the movies.
I remember Slimer, but I just remember, was he covered in ectoplasm? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a brand new movie out now. I should go watch it and learn.
It's amazing. It's amazing. 10 out of 10. It's amazing. It's awesome. I love it.
And
good.
And it was filmed in southern Alberta. The majority of it was in Fort Macleod. No.
I think it was Fort Macleod. It was a good.
I think it is Fort Macleod. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they had
Bill Murray was partying all over southern Alberta.
They actually had a screening, a special screening in Fort Macleod, specifically because the actual theater that they had the screening at was right in Fort Macleod.
Oh,
well, and it was in the movie. Like it was in several scenes of the movie. The actual movie
well, that
theater.
makes sense. Yeah, because they do have like the small town, like one of the big scenes in the movie is ripping around in the small town little stores and stuff. And that was
Fort Macleod.
Yeah. And you can tell it's, I mean, we can tell it's southern Alberta when you watch the movie. It's like, yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess that could be Kansas or wherever they're supposed to be, but it's definitely southern Alberta.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Go see it. It's awesome. But I love the original so much that I can post the original to this day.
But the first one, yes. Second one, not so much.
Yeah. Second one was the Weak Sister for sure. But I mean, the first one, I've probably seen the first one 30 times.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
Well, my next thing, this is going to be no surprise to anybody, but I had to have the New Kids on the Block doll.
No, that surprises me. I
can't believe that.
Yeah.
I mean, so like, there's obviously 5 dolls. I only got 1 doll, which was Jordan's, my favorite New Kid.
He was the best looking one, so of course it was Jordan.
I love him. And then they had like a stage and everything, but I never got any of that, which is also comparable to Gem, because Gem was also another doll that I had to have when I got that
Gem
glitter and gold.
holograms.
Gem, because they're truly outrageous. I had to have the glitter and gold Gem doll.
Really outrageous.
Gem was 1 inch taller than Barbie, a little bit bigger than Barbie.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I
so she couldn't use all the same.
About that.
I know she couldn't use all the same things as Barbie or wear her clothes.
Well,
that's where they
by
get you.
design. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think it was wasn't it Hasbro that made Gem and Mattel made Barbie. So there was I think there was quite a rivalry there between the two with their Rockstar doll.
Probably. Yeah.
Big time. But yeah, nope. Had to have my New Kids doll. Don't know whatever happened to it. No idea.
See, that's another one. I mean, but you wish you could go back and have that. Like that would probably be worth something.
Yeah, they're still out there to get, but it costs a lot more now.
Yeah,
for sure. Like but there was MC Hammer had a doll. I think we had that, the MC Hammer doll too. And it came. Both of
Haven't
these
seen
come
that.
with like a cassette, right? They came with cassettes with songs.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Gem and the Holograms. That was part of their deal. Is you get it was you get a pink cassette that came with it, and you could listen to their Totally Outrageous song while you watched their Totally Outrageous cartoon.
Yes.
Totally outrageous.
Yes. Hasbro really nailed that. They did a great job with Gem, for sure. She made me want to be a rock star.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard not to like Gem and the Holograms. I was a boy and I liked it because I liked rock and roll, so I thought it was cool.
Guess what I forgot in things that I wanted? The
What?
Snoopy, the Peanuts, the Snoopy snow cone machine.
Oh,
You guys, remember that thing?
that would have been amazing. Yes, I looked at that a lot too.
My sister, one of my sisters got one of those. Got that, I think.
Were the snow cones out of it actually any good, or were they?
Like you're basically just adding Kool-Aid to the ice.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I surprised that it was half-assed? Yeah, that sounds right.
It looks so amazing, but it's probably
But it
super
grinds
simple
but it
and-
grinds up the ice. Like you put the ice cubes in, and you grind it, and then you add the syrup on top, and
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't fantastic, but it looked so good. When you're like 10 years old, that looks like the most amazing thing. I remember thinking I'd put it in my room. I'd put it in my room right on my bed. I could get up in the morning and have a snow cone. In my room with no door.
What a way to start your day. In your room with no door and your snow cone.
And my Snoopy snow cone.
Did you
Yeah.
did you guys ever have an easy bake oven in your homes?
Well, no, I was an only child, only male child, so I didn't have one. But I thought those were cool too. Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't remember my
The
sisters
concept-
having one of them.
The concept of cooking a cake with a light bulb was intriguing.
Yeah, I
So-
never knew it was a light bulb until somebody clued me into that years later. I thought it was actually a little oven thing, but I guess that wouldn't make much sense with it.
Yeah.
No, it was a light bulb. And they're still popular today. I'm pretty sure. Like my niece has one. Yeah, they're
You know
they're
what's
still being out
coming?
there.
You know what's coming back now is Light Bright. Light Bright is like the old school Light Bright is coming back. I liked Light Bright.
Very
Yes.
much.
But you'd always lose the stupid pegs, and then you could only make half a picture.
Or the Etch-a-Sketch.
Oh yes, and then you drop the son of a bitch, and you'd lose whatever shitty drawing you were trying to work on.
Yeah. or you'd have a jerk brother come and run and grab it and shake it after you spent
Your
hours on it.
brother.
He was a little turd. He still is, but he's just older.
I want to get. We got to get another one of these on the go, and I want you to bring your brother on, Jimmy, because I want to hear his. I want to hear his side of things.
Why did you torture Jimmy this way?
That's right.
Oh, it would have been. It was my fault because I used to beat him up. He'd do those things. He'd do those things, and then I'd beat him up, and then he'd have to get back at me for beating him up, and then it was just a vicious circle.
You guys sound like Itchy and Scratchy, man.
It was a vicious circle. My parents said you were just as bad as your brother was. It's just you didn't used to break his stuff. You used to just break him. And I'm like,
right,
yeah.
No, we have to get this going. We have to get this going. We have to mediate an adult conversation about this.
Yeah. We're still dealing with our issues. We don't talk much.
Okay. That's small town Alberta way of dealing with issues between men, is you just don't talk about it much. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh. When you think about this book, is there? I was gonna say, I noticed after the actual like toys. Oh, look, the rock tumbler there. It's got a whole page of. I'm looking at the 1990 Sears Christmas wish book right now. After that, it would move on to things like workbenches, telescopes. Did you ever have one of those?
No, wanted one, never had one.
They even have like microscopes and like all that DIY science stuff.
I had an actual microscope, like my dad bought it from, I think, the university or something. And like they, every year they would get 500 new microscopes, so they would sell off their old ones. So I had an actual microscope, and I had a big chemistry set with a whole lot of elements and chemicals and shit that I had no idea what to do with it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I used to love getting stuff like that and not knowing what to do with it.
It's true.
Then it goes into like musical instruments, and they all look like shit brands that aren't actually.
They're all shit brands.
I'm looking at the drum kits here. There's the drum kits. Now you were a drummer here. So there's like Celebrity Pro Sound, Premier Rock, Silver Rhythm. What the fuck brands are these, man?
Well, what kind you can buy from a Sears catalog. That's it. That was not a Christmas gift, but that's one of the great things I got when I was a kid. I got a set of Pearl exports with Sabian symbols when I was 12, 13, 14. I don't know, somewhere. But that's one of the greatest gifts I ever got in my life.
Well, no kidding. Those brands are good.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Oh, wow. Yeah. No, they don't even have a Casio keyboard. This is bad. It's not even made by Casio. Do you guys have any other toys that you want to highlight that were awesome and super cool?
Yeah, that's kind of it that I can think of.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I have much more either, except for I liked my Ghostbusters slime a lot. I remember when you could buy like cans of it, and they had a thing. No, it wasn't Ghostbusters. That was He-Man 2, I think.
Okay.
And there was a thing where you put the guy in the thing, and you put the slime in the bucket on top of him, and you cover him in slime. You get him. And it was pointless. Like that was all you could do with it, and you were done. But I thought it was the greatest invention ever.
Jeez, that's pretty sweet. I've definitely got to learn about a lot of the boys' toys today too, which was nice. Because because you could tell I had a lot of dolls. But I also like creative stuff a lot. Like every year my grandparents would get me this big box of art supplies. So it wasn't necessarily from the Christmas or from Sears, but it was just I always had new paints and new markers every year and stuff. So that was really catering to my artistic stuff,
Did you ever have those things? I can't even remember what they were called. My cousins had it. We never had those, where you'd put the markers in these round things, like they would, and then I had different, and so it's basically like a compass and all that kind of stuff where you can make circles and
a spirograph.
Yes.
Spirograph. There we go.
Yes. We had that actually at my grandma's house. She had the spirograph there, and we played with it there. Yeah, it was.
It didn't work all that well though. Like it kind of worked, but
well, if one of the teeth went out of place, it would all be a mess.
Yeah.
It made some kind of cool designs. It's funny because now that kind of thing would be super primitive to people, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But to us, it was amazing.
The art was so cool looking when you were done.
Yeah.
And then like the best markers of all time, the Mr. Sketch ones, because they all smelled really good.
Oh yeah. Bring it back. Remember, I can smell it. Yeah.
Yeah. The only problem with those is my sister was little and it smelled like stuff, and so she'd eat them.
They taste good.
Or try to eat them, like she'd chew on them.
I don't think I ever actually ate one, but yeah.
Well, if we're gonna talk about tasting stuff like that, we had an ornament on the Christmas tree when I was a kid, and it was supposed to be like a little train made out of like jujubes or something, or sugary candy, and that's what it smelled like. And I tried tasting that thing every year for probably 3 years, and it never tasted any better. So, word to the wise: just because it smells like candy,
doesn't mean it is.
That's right.
Don't you put it in your mouth. I would say make sure you ask your parents before you taste things.
On the Christmas tree.
On the Christmas tree. Or in general.
I do it for 3 consecutive years, like somehow thinking, oh, this year it's going to taste sweet. Like, I don't know how that happened, but.
Well, I want to thank you guys so much for being my guest and going through all these awesome toys and memories with us for Christmas. And I hope you guys have an amazing Christmas and all of that. I wanted to let you say whatever you want to say before we go. What's going on with you guys? You got any plugs?
No, I don't have any plugs. Come and join me every Saturday night at Cracker Jacks, or don't. It's entirely up to you. And Yeah, that's all I got going on. So it's busy times over here.
DJ Poostic with all of your karaoke needs. Cracker Jack's Pub. Yeah. James?
The Jedi Jimmy podcast is launching this Thursday.
Exactly. That's a
all
big
Star
one.
Wars. All Star Wars. I'm talking about the Mandalorian.
That's perfect.
No, not Mandalorian. Boba Fett.
Boba Fett?
Because the book of Boba Fett comes out on the 29th of this month.
Well, that's going to be really good to have. We'll have some Star Wars fans check that out. Before we leave, I want to share a song with you that I want to be a yearly tradition. Now, I know you've heard of Whamageddon. I want you to know that I'm not going to spoil Whamageddon if you're participating in it, because covers don't count. Do you know about Whamageddon?
No.
Whamageddon is from December 1st till Christmas Day. You have to try to avoid listening to Last Christmas by Wham.
Oh, that's interesting concept and pretty difficult.
And as soon as it gets fucked up for you, you hashtag on your social media Whamageddon, because you got Whamagedded. So
I don't listen to Christmas music.
Well, then you're gonna probably be okay, but you also work in a radio station
that doesn't play Christmas music.
Oh,
but now does it count if you're in a store and it comes on? Does that count?
Then you're screwed.
Well, okay, so then I probably have been violated the rule already then.
But covers don't count. Okay.
Oh,
covers
it's going to be the
fine.
original Wham. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not going to script your Whamageddon, but listen, this is what I like to celebrate the year with. It gets much better.
Better than this? You're kidding.
How can it get better to top this?
You ready? That's enough of that.
Now I need to go. Now I really need counseling after that.
That's enough of that. I had to put it at the end of the show so that nobody would turn off the show.
That's right. Yeah, I think you lost a few people there about second 6 or 7 probably, but
they're safe from Whamageddon though, which is nice. So anyway, thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you, Naomi. Merry Christmas, Naomi. Merry Christmas
to all of our listeners. And see ya.
Hey kids, put down that Tamagotchi and listen for a second. You know, you can follow us on Twitter at NostalgiaDope, Instagram at dope_nostalgia. Visit our website at www.dopenostalgia.com or pick up the phone and call us at 780-851-8785.
This podcast is licensed by SOCAN because we believe that artists should be paid for their work.